Bright suns, everybody. Welcome back to Ordinary Adventures. Today, we're going to be going back to Dok Ondar's Den of Antiquities because we've got more walls to look at.
Yeah, we're going to take another look at the artifacts, examine them, find out what lore they tell us about Star Wars history, what behind-the-scenes information we can glean. Come with us on this adventure. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the walls in Dok Ondar's. This is the wall that has many helmets from the Resistance and Rebellion. But let's not start with that. Let's start with the thing on the top left.
This right here is the Medal of Bravery. I think we all have seen this medal before. This was something that the Rebel Alliance gave out as awards as far back as the Clone Wars. And probably most of us recognize this from Star Wars: A New Hope. Princess Leia gave this medal to Luke Skywalker and Han Solo as an award for their bravery and their heroic acts.
They helped blow up the Death Star.
Yeah, so they should get an award.
Yeah, and she presented it to them at the ceremony on the planet of Yavin, which is where the rebels had a base, which is why this is often called the Yavin medals. Did you know that the medal actually is engraved with this stylized flower that resembles an emblem used by the Galactic Republic of old? And at its heart is a stylized rising sun that symbolized the dawn of a new hope in the wake of the Alliance victory over the Galactic Empire.
I actually did not know that.
Wookieepedia.
We get all our information from Wookieepedia.
Yeah.
But you know what I did notice, and I do know? Chewbacca never got his medal. What the heck?
Yeah, fans have complained about that over the years. That's been like a big controversy. George Lucas, I think, once said that the reason why Chewbacca never got a medal is because Wookiees don't care about such awards.
Yeah, that makes sense. He doesn't seem like the type that would care. He did get his medal in Rise of Skywalker.
Actually, some of the recent Marvel comics and books have confirmed that Chewbacca was actually presented with a medal by Han Solo off-screen.
Okay.
Which is kind of strange because in the original novelization for Star Wars, he did get a medal from Han Solo. But now in canon, he got a medal off-screen.
Okay.
And he didn't really care much for it. So they're following what George thought of the whole situation. An interesting thing here is the Battle of Yavin is this critical event in the history of the Star Wars galaxy. That's when the Empire was brought down, so much so that the calendar of Star Wars, they actually use that. It's kind of like, you know how we use before Christ and after Christ?
Yeah.
They use BBY, which is before the Battle of Yavin, and they use ABY, which is after the Battle of Yavin. So everything in the Star Wars galaxy, when you go to Wookieepedia or you go to any Star Wars books, it's all in relation to that one battle. Now, the big question is, whose medal is that on Dok's wall?
Yeah, good question. Whose is it?
We don't know. I mean, it could be a medal that wasn't at Yavin, but there's this book that came out recently called The Force Collector. It was in 2019, and part of this book, it revealed that Han Solo actually gave Maz Kanata his medal to pay for some drinks.
Okay, that's...
He had reached a new low in his life.
What the heck?
And it was kept in her castle on Takodana. Yeah. And later, a Force user, who's the protagonist of this book, actually was sent by Dok Ondar to visit Maz, and he used his Force powers and touched the medal and realized that it wasn't actually Han's medal, but it was Luke Skywalker's medal. So Han Solo actually was even more crappy. He actually gave away Luke Skywalker's medal. What I'm wondering is here, since that Force Collector was sent by Dok Ondar, did he bring that back? Is that Luke Skywalker's medal on the wall?
Yeah, could be.
Maybe a future book or comic book will reveal this. Right next to the Yavin Medal of Honor is this thing in a glass case. It's glowing green. And what that actually is a statue from Jedha's Temple of Khyber. So Jedha was from Rogue One. It's kind of like the Vatican of the Star Wars universe. It is where people go to worship. It's the holy city of the Force. And it was blown up in that movie.
Yeah.
But before it was blown up, it had this statue. The statue is at least 2,000 years old. It depicts a Jedi battling a serpent-like creature, and it was carved with a Jedi using his lightsaber.
That is badass, if you ask me.
So the Temple of the Khyber was a great temple that rose above the walls of the holy city of Jedha. There were tunnels that led underneath the temple, which had Kyber crystals growing from the ceiling and sides of the walls. In these tunnels, there was 2,304 statues made entirely out of Khyber. So in the third issue of the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge comic book series, we learned that Dok Ondar snuck into the temple with the help of Hondo Ohnaka.
Wow. Typical.
Yeah. It was guarded by the Guardians of the Wills, among them being Shrewd.
Wow.
From Rogue One, who one of my favorite characters.
Same.
And Doc was able to somehow talk his way out of the temple with the statue and add it to his collection. So if you want to find out that story, go to issue 3 of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge comic book.
I kind of love that because Dok Ondar is like not a small dude, but I'm just imagining him like tiptoeing around, like, I don't know. It's funny. It's such a small statue though.
Yeah. But it's important. I mean, it's made out of Kyber crystals, and it's very important actually because it's probably the last known statue in existence. Because as you know, in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, planet Jedha gets blown up, so all those statues that were underneath the temple are probably in ruin.
So this is extra rare. You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those like ice sculptures that you see like at parties.
But it does, but it was carved with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Out of Kyber crystal. I wonder if they'll ever sell this.
That's so cool. I feel like we need one in our house. Like, cause imagine at night it's just like glowing in the corner. That'd be so awesome. To the right of this, you might notice a bunch of helmets. There's so many helmets over here. It's a selection of infantry and pilot helmets worn by the members of the Rebellion and the Resistance.
First up is an A-Wing pilot helmet. And you might know, this is used by A-Wing pilots during the Battle of Endor. And in Rise of Skywalker, we found out that Luke actually used a pair of these helmets to train Leia in the Force.
I love it.
And Leia later used those helmets to train
Rey.
We don't know if that's these helmets. It probably isn't, because we still saw Rey with the helmets being trained after the events of Galaxy's Edge. So this is probably just A-Wing helmets.
I'm not a big helmet person, but I feel like this is one that I'd want to own. To the right of that helmet is the X-Wing helmet.
Yeah, not Luke's X-Wing helmet, but an X-Wing helmet.
Yeah, these little guys often included a visor with special computer projection for targeting.
Do you want to say that again?
Can you hear me? Testing. Okay. Did you know that these helmets... Can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
These helmets often included a visor with special computer projection that was used for targeting. So when they're in their little X-Wings, they could actually see their targets up here.
Red 5?
Yes.
I also know that the X-Wing pilots would regularly customize their helmets. They would paint them in special ways. Mm-hmm. So no two helmets are usually the same. It's by X-Wing pilot. So the emblems on the helmet are often of personal significance, or it could be to signify a squadron. So if you're part of the Red Squadron, it could have an emblem of the Red Squadron or a motif.
So whose helmet are we looking at right now? Do we know?
This helmet's design looks very similar to that of Wes Jansen, who served as Wedge Antilles' gunner in the Battle of Hoth. He was the first member of the Rogue Squadron to bring down an Imperial Walker. Nice. This is kind of interesting because in The Empire Strikes Back, he was played by this actor named Ian Liston, and he was originally cast and played as an AT-AT gunner, but he was later asked by the assistant director that he had previously worked with to take on the role of Jansen since the original actor had fallen ill. So in the movie The Empire Strikes Back, there is essentially a sequence in the film where he's trying to shoot himself down.
I was gonna say, wow, switching sides. First you're on the bad guy side, and then you join the good guys. At the same time. Yeah, what?
In the same battle.
My mind.
See, if you don't get anything out of these, facts like that, I feel like are things that you can use to impress your friends, not only in Galaxy's Edge, but also, just in general. Life. So if you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It should be noted that even though usually these helmets are of unique design that this helmet that looks very similar to this was also worn by a member of the Blue Squadron in the movie Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. That unnamed pilot flew a T-65B X-Wing starfighter when the Alliance fleet decided to aid the rebels on the planet Scarif. So, whose helmet is this? It could be Jensen's. It could be this random Blue Squadron guy.
I like to think that it's Jensen's.
Yeah, Jensen's the better story, I think. So below that, we have a new row of helmets.
Yeah, so many helmets. Welcome to Ordinary Helmet Adventures.
And this is just the Rebellion and Resistance helmets. So the next one is the Endor Rebellion helmet.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite helmets because we all know your girl likes Endor.
And this is an infantry helmet like the ones worn by the Rebel Pathfinders who assisted Han Solo in the assault of the shield generator on the forest moon of Endor. The most interesting story about this helmet that I could find is in Return of the Jedi. We see this old Rebel trooper who was part of Han Solo's raiding party on Endor. Mm-hmm. And fans have theorized since Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebellion that Rex, the clone trooper Rex, might actually grow up to be that Rebellion trooper. And I know we were at this event where Dave Filoni kind of teased it, and he put like some concept design on the screen showing what Rex would look like as that guy.
Looked very similar, just saying.
Yeah, the Rebels finale does show that Rex participated in the Battle of Endor, but doesn't confirm this fan theory. But I think it would be an incredible retcon, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, and then that helmet up there, it probably is Rex's helmet.
Or someone
right?
in that battle.
Yeah. Right next to that helmet is the Y-Wing pilot helmet. This was also seen in Return of the Jedi.
So what I learned from Wookieepedia is that this helmet is equipped with an Identichip, protective eye lenses, comlink, flight systems input jack, and an audio receiver. What you really got to know is this helmet is very much like that of a standard X-Wing pilot helmet. But the question is, who wore this helmet?
Well, Peter, this helmet was actually worn by Tel Siege. He was a lieutenant who served as Grey 2 in the Grey Squadron during the Battle of Endor.
In the film, you might remember there was one guy that cried out that they were being overwhelmed, and that was Tel Siege.
There's too many of them.
That helmet has a story behind it. So you can also see on this wall that there's not only helmets, but there's a couple X-Wing fighter chest boxes. These are the things that they wear on their chest. And these function as a life support unit and it monitors their vital signs. It's actually kind of funny because in some of the older canon, the Legends, it was revealed that they helped create a bubble that surrounded the pilot if they were ejected. It was a magnetic containment field that protected the pilot for a limited time. But that comic is now Legends and is unlikely to be canon.
Darn, I liked that theory.
So these are Rebellion era chest boxes. And as you can see, the Resistance ones were updated in a more modern way. And
maybe the Resistance ones were like updated with that protective bubble.
Maybe. When I was on Twitter and asking some questions, author Jason Fry, who wrote the novelization of, I think, The Last Jedi, he responded to me and he pointed out that there is a moment in Empire Strikes Back where you can actually see that the chest box is just made out of wood. And then once you see it, you can never unsee it. Now, George Lucas never intended this stuff to be watched in 4K Blu-rays. So in our first video, we were able to accomplish everything in one video on that one wall with the bus. But there was these huge busts that took up a majority of that wall. This is a lot of little items.
Yeah.
So we're going to end up having to split this wall into two videos. So next week, you'll see the second part of this video. But for right now, let's go to comments. What's your favorite lightsaber duel in the Skywalker trilogy? I feel like the coolest looking one is the one from the Phantom Menace, the Duel of the Fates.
Yeah.
But my favorite is from Force Awakens.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because I just love it. It's such a surprise. You think Finn is going to get the saber and he goes to grab it and it goes to Rey. Oh, and there's that moment.
Such a
it's
good
probably
moment.
My favorite moment of the sequel trilogy that's like on her face and she's like holding the saber back, trying to hold Kylo Ren at bay. So in one of our last videos, we went to Taco Bell and tried their pineapple whip freeze. And we were talking about what other treats could be made from Disney parks by Taco Bell. And you turned down my churro slushie, and you suggested a lobster nacho slushie, and everybody did not like this idea. No one liked this idea. I don't think there was one person that liked this idea.
You guys, it was just a joke. I realized from looking at the comments that a lot of people might not have understood that. I'm just kidding. I don't want a lobster nacho slushie, but I like a caramel apple slushie or like a caramel popcorn slushie. Those could be good.
It's not like Disney specific.
They sell caramel apples there.
What are you guys most excited about for Mandalorian Season 2?
Oh my gosh, I'm like excited for everything, but I think you guys know me, you know I love the child. I'm really excited to like find out where he's from, like his planet, see more of like his species that I hope, like fingers crossed, that we get to see.
Yeah, I'm excited about all the new characters that are coming into this, like Rosario Dawson's gonna be playing Ahsoka in live action.
That's gonna be so cool.
Boba Fett's gonna apparently be in this. Did he survive the Sarlacc pit? I don't know.
Apparently.
Cobb Vanth might be played by Timothy Olyphant, and that's a character from the books. So I think this might be the first time that a character from the books is actually gonna be put into live action, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited for everything.
Me too. I can't get here soon enough.
Okay, this one's gonna be a hard one. If you could take home any antiquity on display at Dok Ondar's, which one would you take home?
So I don't know if this technically counts. Well, I guess it does. I immediately thought of something.
What is it?
I would take home the baby Sarlacc that he has, or like that little frog-looking creature.
Yeah, the lily pad kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good ones. I don't know what I would take home. Maybe the life-size Wampa?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. I don't know. That's really, that's a hard question. There's so, like, if I could
so
actually
much
buy the
stuff.
things on the walls, we'd be in trouble.
I feel like we need to come back to this question once we've finished our video series on Dok Ondar's, so we could go back and I could, like, pinpoint exactly what I want.
What is your favorite show to binge watch during the lockdown?
I mean, I've been watching, like, a lot of reality television,
Yeah.
so I'm not, like, the best person to ask.
You know, we've been watching a lot of YouTube, but my favorite actual shows that we've been watching during this pandemic, the first one is Prop Culture, which has them like taking a look and trying to find all these props from Disney movies.
Ooh, that's a good show.
And the second one is Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian, which is a behind-the-scenes look at The Mandalorian. It's the worst title ever, but it's actually a very interesting show.
Agreed. If you guys have any suggestions of shows that we should be binge watching, let us know.
Let us know in the comments below.
Any show from any decade.
Or YouTube channel.
Yeah, or YouTube channel.
So that does it for questions today. If you want to see our previous virtual adventure to Dok Ondar's, click right over there. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next adventure.